Hello, my name is Hannah Lefeuvre and I am an Elevate artist at Salisbury District Hospital. Normally I would be walking around the hospital visiting you and chatting to you, but during this time I am going to be speaking to you from my garden. I'm lucky enough to live on a small holding, and today I've come right to the top of our plot of land. It's about a 2-acre piece of land, and at the top of our land it's all on a slope, and at the top we've got a small copse, and I'm just sat beside a rope swing that we put up last year. And in this top section we've got apple trees down in the orchard section, and this year we're really focusing on cultivating our wildflowers. So this area became quite wild for quite some time, and we had lots of bracken and brambles, and we didn't really come into this space very often. But for about a year, 18 months now, we've been scything this space, and we really love to use the traditional tools where we can, and the scythe is such an effective tool to use. So we've been hacking away at the bracken and the nettles and the brambles, which made it quite difficult to enter into this space. And finally we are seeing some lovely results now already, even at this time of year. So today it's the 10th of April. So even at this time of year, the wildflowers are really coming on now. We can see the bluebell shoots are coming through. The primroses are really scattering right across the space in a much wider area than we'd normally have. And we can see the beginnings of campions and foxgloves and forget-me-nots. So we're really optimistic for this space. In a moment I'm going to go to the top of the space and I'm going to see how our orchids are doing. We've got couple of variety of orchids up here. Perhaps you know your orchids better than I do, but I can tell you that they've got black dots on their leaves, so they're one of the spotted orchids, and they're pink in colour. But when those come out in flower, then I'll go and have a look at them again, and perhaps you can use your IDing skills over the airwaves. This is a really lovely spot to come to, and recently I've been really thinking about how nature can just be such a lovely way to release some of life's problems and just to be in a nice mindful state. And particularly this time of year I'm really appreciating the birdsong, and today I've even got my sun hat on because it's so warm. And I've bought a couple of poetry books up here. I thought I could read us a poem, and I've been looking through and seeing if I could find any poems that are relevant to today. And I found a poem here called From the Garden by Andrew Marvell, who you're probably familiar with. He's a 17th century poet, and this is one of his most well-known pieces. So I'm just going to read this here in situ, and I hope you enjoy it. What wondrous life is this I led? Ripe apples drop about my head, the luscious clusters of the vine upon my mouth do crush their wine, the nectarine and curious peach into my hands themselves do reach, stumbling on melons as I pass, ensnared with flowers I fall on grass. Meanwhile the mind from pleasure less withdraws into its happiness. The mind, that ocean where each kind does straight its own resemblance find. Yet it creates, transcending these, far other worlds and other seas, annihilating all that's made to a green thought in a green shade. So I picked that out this morning as I just thought it really encapsulated some of the things I've been thinking about with how nature can help us to clear the mind, and wanting to bring images to you really of what's happening now in nature in this lovely spring weather. I'm going to head up to the top of the hill now, and I'm just going to have a quick look at our orchids, and I'm going to look at the view as well. And then I will leave you with the sounds of nature here. I'll leave you with some of the lovely bird song up in these trees up here.